Welcome back to the 100 Horror Films in 31 Days. For day 8, I got in two films. First up is 1987's Slumber Party Massacre 2. I'd already watched this about a month ago on Joe Bob Briggs' last drive-in, so it was part of the selected film for the day on DVD Talk. So I did rewatch it, but I chose to rewatch it with the commentary track, which I'm glad I did because the commentary track has Deborah Brock on it. She's the director, and it was interesting to hear her talk about the film, and the producer was on here, so it's a good commentary track. Um, it's a comedy. I mean, it's basically spoofing the slasher genre. You've got a girl that survived the first film that's formed a rock band, and she goes with her girlfriends to a condo to kind of a getaway, and through a series of what it looks like to be nightmares, she envisions a killer with a phallic kind of guitar that's chasing them around. It's hilarious. I have a lot of fun with it. I think it's a fun film. The guy that played the killer was perfectly cast. He's got a strange name, Atanas Illich, I think. And apparently, Illich was a singer. He's actually had us an album, or had an album produced in the 80s. I don't know how good it is, but he was fantastic. He makes the movie. I mean, without him, I think you don't have much here. But he's fantastic to watch him go through his over the top. He's just over the top and perfect for the role. Anyway, I give it an 8 out of 10. I think it's a fun movie. I like the first one too. The third one kind of is a definite drop off. And then next up is 1932's The Mummy. So I broke out the old Universal Mummy set, near and dear to my heart. Boris Karloff dons the bandages, and what a makeup! I mean, what a makeup! The first 15 minutes of this movie is just a masterpiece. Of course, I think the whole movie is basically a masterpiece, honestly. But I think the Mummy makeup that was for Karloff was the best makeup in all of Universal, all the Universal films combined. Um, People complain about this film that it's too slow and static shots and too slow. But think about the fact that you've got a 37-100-year-old mummy that's come alive. I mean, he's probably not going to be an Olympic sprinter. I mean, so I think the tone and the way the film is shot and its slowness adds to the mystique and overall impact, in my opinion. I mean, it's perfect to set the mood. It's a very moody piece. It's also a love story. Basically, you've got Karloff has come back, and he's still trying to resurrect. He was bandaged. He was basically buried alive because he tried to resurrect his the love of his life, and here he is now, 3,700 years later, trying to do it again. Uh, so it's a great story, great movie. I love it. David Manners plays the lead. Of course, he was the lead in all these with Dracula. I mean, he was in most of these films in the early 30s. But I think it's a great film, and Karloff's performance. Honestly, I think you could certainly make a very strong argument that this Mummy 1932 is the best Mummy movie ever made. Um, and I would put it right up there at number one, maybe number two. Well, number two, a very close number two, is not a maybe. For me, the number two is Hammer's remake of The Mummy, a close number two. Different style movie. It's kind of comparing apples and oranges, but I think it's right up there with the original in terms of my favorite Mummy movies. But yeah, Mummy 1932, great stuff. So two watches, two really good watches, but that's about it for day 8. And have any comments? Feel free to leave them below. Thanks for watching.